When it comes to the Fallout universe, a few voices tend to... Okay, let's be honest here. I know what you're thinking. Who the hell's this guy? Where's Austin? Well, he couldn't make it today. It's actually a pretty funny story.
I sacrificed Austin to the Ancient Ones, those who were and will be again, who lie in slumber in the ancient city of Relia.
So I'm Graham, and I am actually the writer of the Hidden History series, filling in for Austin this week. Have no fear though, because Austin will be back next week. But this week, we figured we'd change things up a little bit because we're celebrating the 50th episode of Hidden History. 50 episodes of lore and history from Fallout to BioShock to Grand Theft Auto. We're gonna try to shake things up by doing our first ever crossover episode. And come on, this is the Shoddy Cast. What franchises did you think we were going to make this episode on? So this time around, we're going to be covering Skyrim and Fallout 4. As you know if you're a regular viewer of the show, Bethesda has an author that they love to come back to again and again, H.P. Lovecraft. But the question is, who referenced him better? Or, to be more specific, what game do you think has used Lovecraft's work in the most interesting and creative ways? That's what we're going to be asking here today, and at the end of the video, feel free to leave your answer in the comment section below so one extremely unlucky shoddy caster, that would be me actually, can go through and tally up the votes, which will be announced on next week's show. Alright, so since the very first episode of Hidden History covered Fallout, it only seems right that it should go first. Building off the references to Lovecraft's work in Fallout 3, Fallout 4 features a location known as the Dunwich Boars. The Boars are a reference to the Dunwich Horror, one of the most well-known Lovecraft stories ever. While the site doesn't have much in the way of plot similarities with the Dunwich Horror, Bethesda really went out of its way to make sure that Lovecraft's signature suspense and atmosphere is featured in the Dunwich Boars. That's not all though. If you take a look inside the well at the very end of the mine, you'll see the face of a statue buried in the dirt. Some have interpreted this as a reference to Lovecraft's lesser-known tale, The Shunned House, where the protagonist discovers something eerily similar. Except in that case, it was a monster, but I mean, isn't it always? Anyway, that's not all. Fallout 4 has a very interesting NPC named Pickman, a brutal serial killer. Pickman is known to paint with the blood of his many victims. This character is based on Richard Upton Pickman, a painter featured in Lovecraft's 1927 story, Pickman's Model. And not only are both characters painters, they also share a serious case of insanity. In the story, Pickman is driven mad by what he paints. Horrible glimpses into the underworld. So while they aren't exactly the same, there is a lot of similarities there. Both have a gallery named after them, as Pickman's gallery in the game mirrors the gallery found in Lovecraft's story. So when it comes to Lovecraft references, Skyrim is definitely no slouch either. In fact, it has an entire expansion inspired by his work. Working as sort of a love letter to the Cthulhu mythos, Hermias Mora himself is obviously very influenced by the design of Lovecraft's work. We can point to specific monsters he may have been inspired by, and by the way, we have. You can check out some of our old Skyrim videos if you want to dig farther into him. But the point is that the character is an homage to Lovecraftian gods. The expansion really captures one of Lovecraft's pet themes, the idea that forbidden knowledge should stay that way, and that knowing too much can lead you down the path to your own doom. Oh, and even though we've talked about it before, no discussion of Lovecraft and Skyrim would be complete without mentioning the Ogma Infinium, an ancient tome bound in flesh, much like Lovecraft's Necronomicon. So let us know what you think. Who do you think referenced it better? And if you have any more references to share, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. So now let's get on to the comment showcase. First, our awesomely bad comment, which comes from Irradiated Ghoul this week. He chimed in to tell us, and let me just make sure I'm reading this right here. Fart Brotherhood. Yep. Next up, we have a great comment from NVVN94, who gave us another Lovecraft-related theory behind the name of the Dark Brotherhood. He tells us that Robert Bloch, the author of Psycho and a close personal friend of H.P. Lovecraft's, wrote a novel called Strange Eons, which deals with its own Dark Brotherhood of necromancers who worship Lovecraft's pantheons of the old gods. Much like the Dark Brotherhood of Tamriel, Bloch's murderous group is also made up of some very diverse individuals who participate in political assassinations. This, of course, mirrors the Skyrim quest where you assassinate the Emperor of Skyrim himself. So now, finally, we've come to the trivia. But before we get to that, I just want to take a quick time out to tell you guys thank you for watching the show these past 50 episodes. because it's made all of this useless knowledge that I just had in my brain actually seem kind of worth it. I mean, not totally worth it, but thanks, and stick around. So anyway, trivia. So the answer to last week's question, as many of you guessed, was in fact B, Final Fantasy VI. This week we have a Lovecraft-related question for you. What Oblivion questline is confirmed to have been inspired by Lovecraft's fictional town of Innsmouth? A, A Shadow over Hactor. B, Unfriendly Competition. C, No Stone Unturned. Or D, There Be Monsters.